Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be studying about bruxism. Now before I go ahead with bruxism, let me tell you it is something related to teeth grinding. That means your upper and the lower jaw is being in contact with each other and there is a vigorous grinding which is going on. So if you see, bruxism is also said to be night grinding, and let me tell you that this is a kind of CNS disorder, okay? Now what happens in bruxism is there is habitual grinding of the patient. The patient will habitually grind the teeth, the upper teeth and the lower teeth together while sleeping or when awake. No matter the patient is conscious, like he's sleeping or he's awake, the grinding motion is going to be there. Now coming to the etiology, there are various kind of factors on which the etiology is being based. So the first factor we have is the local factor. If you talk about the local factor, there can be mild occlusion disturbances. So sometimes because of maybe atresion or some cause, there are occlusal disturbances which are being created, which can lead to bruxism in children at the time of mixed dentition. Now what happens in a mixed dentition is that the primary teeth are falling off and the secondary and the permanent teeth are coming. So in the mixed dentition stage, there is basically both type of teeth in the oral cavity, primary as well as secondary. This also leads to occlusal disturbance and it can lead to the bruxism. Coming to some systemic factors or some systemic diseases, if patient is having any GIT disorder or any nutritional deficiency or any endocrine disorder, can also contribute in bruxism. Coming to some psychological factors. So the psychological factors can be like the emotional stress, maybe some kind of fear, like when you're in the exam hall, you usually have this fear kind of thing, right? So at that moment, your bruxism can be started, and in children who have habit of biting and chewing the toys, even they can have this problem. Coming to some occupational factors, now there are certain occupations which will have more chances of creating bruxism. Like the athletes have chances of having bruxism, the watchmakers, as they have small instruments and pieces of the watch they keep in between of their teeth, which can lead to bruxism. Now people who eat, who have a habit of chewing gums or maybe using toothpicks, or maybe carpenters who keep their pencil in between of their mouth, so a notch kind of formation can occur, which can also disturb the occlusion and lead to bruxism. Now coming to the clinical features, if we talk about what looks in a patient clinically, if you see the patient, people with bruxism will show grinding of the teeth, clenching of the teeth and regressive movements of the upper and the lower teeth. Now what happens, for example, this is your maxillary arch and this is your mandibular arch and you have small teeth there. So for example, just imagine that your lower teeth are coming in contact with your upper teeth and you're just grinding your teeth front and back. So what happens is there is a kind of regressive movement which is created. Now this regressive movement can do various things. It can first lead to the facial pain. Then on the what is the effect of dentition, there can be atresion which can be seen because of this regular grinding. Whether you're sleeping or you're awake, you're grinding the teeth can lead to atresion. This can lead to chipping of the enamel. Now if you see in the figure, this is the normal healthy dentition, and the effects of bruxism here is atresion, abrasion, gum recession, abstraction, all these things can be seen. Now you see the teeth height here is being changed because atresion has occurred. Also gums have started to recess from the cervical area. So these are some effects of bruxism on dentition. Coming to the effect on periodontium, if you see on periodontium, the effect is going to be that your teeth will loosen up. So the next is effect on masticatory muscles. So hypertrophy of masticatory muscles can occur, especially the masseter muscles. Now what is the effect of TMJ? TMJ injury can easily occur in habit of bruxism. Coming to the treatment of this disorder, if there is any kind of emotional factor or fear factor which is related to the disease, or for example if there is any kind of malocclusion which is there in patient, so what you're going to do initially, the step you're going to take is correct the factor. If there is any factor which is related, then you have to correct the factor first. The second thing you can do is that you can give removable splints to patients. This is important. So you can give removable splints to the patient. What does patients do? They wear these splints especially at the night time, and these splints immobilize the jaw so the regressive alterations can be stopped. Next thing what you have to do is, if there is any kind of periodontitis or TMJ injury, you can go for proper perio and TMJ treatment if needed. If this video helped you, Please subscribe to my channel, like the video and share this video with your friends. Also, do let me know your comment and suggestions in the box below. Thank you.